are being treated differently in this country. And that nonsense must come to an end. This thing of just being scared of white people and Indians must come to an end. This is our country. We are not stepchildren of this country. We are being treated here like stepchildren. And Cyril allows that nonsense. The confidence and the arrogance of white supremacists now, you can even touch it with your own hand. They've become more arrogant. At the workplace, in business, they've become more arrogant. They're in charge. So we're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow that. We're not going to be ruled here by Pravini. It must come to an end. It must come to an end. Pravini is in charge, yes, running this country and destroying our assets in this country, and the man is untouchable. There were two people who misled President. It was Pravini, it was Jauma. An African has fallen, but the Indian remains, because these minorities are not touched. Jauma left. We said everybody in this country agreed that these two misled President. It was an African and the Indian. Only an African lives. Because that's how it's supposed to be in this country. It's supposed to be like that. Minorities are not held accountable. Cyril has taken our country back into the hands of a white man. They've captured Union Building. They're running this country. Business is running this country the same way the Guptas were doing. White capital is running this country. And because it has got money, because it controls everyone, no one is challenging them. No one is challenging them. So we have taken a decision to challenge them. There's no white man who's going to capture Union Building under our watch. We must not allow that. The same way we have not allowed the Guptas to capture this country, no white man is going to capture this country. It can't be, it's a state capture when it's done by Indians. And then it is investment advice when it is done by whites. No ways. This country, these whites have become more arrogant. Africans are being removed in positions of power. African businessmen and women are closed out. They are characterized as corrupt. Any African person who gets a tender under this government is investigated and is declared corrupt. But when it is white, there is no problem. There is a company which Cyril was a chairman of, Bidvest. It's doing everything. Why is Bidvest doing everything in this country? Why? And then you don't say it's corruption. If it was some Tubakale doing everything, in this country, a black man doing what Bidvest is doing, that black man would have been declared corrupt long time ago. But if it's a white man called Bidvest, which was chaired by Cyril Ramaphosa, no, there's no problem. They even go into the smallest businesses which can be left to young women in the villages to run those projects. I won't be shocked if we wake up one day, they say, no, the feeding scheme in Polokwane is given to Bidvest. It does everything. I'm asking you, South Africa, to answer the question. If it was an African-owned company doing what Bidvest is doing, do you think that company will not have been declared corrupt? But if it's a white man, it's allowed. We're being controlled by whites here. Even the little political freedom we got in 1994, Cyril has surrendered that power back into whiteness. That's a problem here. And then when you talk, everyone comes against you. Why? They are being controlled by money. They are being controlled by money. The EFF has taken a decision here, told us here, right in front of our eyes, no leader of the EFF is going to have a private meeting with Cyril Ramaphosa. If Cyril calls you, you tell us before, and then you tell us after what we're talking about. No leader of the EFF is going to have a private meeting with the captains of the industry. Any big business. It's not going to happen. The leadership of the EFF must spend time with the people on the ground and not these captains of the industry and the political elite. These people have captured us. Cyril thinks we are fools. When he goes to answer questions, he calls political leaders there in parliament. He meets you one by one. He soft-turns you. He goes and answers nonsense in parliament. And then when it is a state of the nation, he calls all of us one by one. He soft-turns you. And then anything you speak about, nothing comes out as a program or to change lives of our people. Useless meetings. That's how he governs people. He calls you to a meeting, he neutralizes you. So we can't have leaders who go around and compromise in this country. What is it that Cyril has done since we removed Zuma? One, we don't want maybe one, except him becoming president. That's the only thing he wanted, just to become president. He has achieved that. And then the rest he doesn't care. So